Stop trying to impress people who will forget your name tomorrow. Stop waiting for applause, validation, and permission. The greatest battle of your life is not against the world. It is against the version of you that keeps making promises and breaking them. Today, make one decision. Prove yourself to yourself. There comes a moment in life when you must ask yourself a difficult question. Who are you living for? Many people spend years chasing approval without realizing it. They work for compliments. They speak to be accepted. They make decisions based on what others will think. They wait for someone to notice their effort, praise their progress, or tell them they are finally good enough. But there is a dangerous trap hidden inside that way of living. Because the moment your value depends on another person's opinion, your peace no longer belongs to you. Think about it. How many dreams have been abandoned because someone laughed? How many talents stayed hidden because someone said, "You can't do it"? How many people delayed their life because they were waiting for support that never came? The truth is painful, but powerful. People are busy living their own lives. Their opinions change. Their attention fades. Their applause disappears. If you build your identity on validation, then every criticism becomes destruction. Every rejection becomes proof that you should stop. But when your identity comes from within, something changes. Imagine waking up early to train while nobody is watching, studying when nobody praises you, building your future in silence while the world sees no results yet. That is where real power is born. There is a story repeated in countless forms throughout life. A person starts with nothing, no support, no recognition. They work quietly, day after day. People doubt them, some even mock them. Yet they continue, not because someone believes in them, but because they decide to believe in themselves first. Then one day the results appear, and suddenly everyone says, "I knew they would make it." But they didn't see the lonely mornings. They didn't see the moments of uncertainty. They didn't see the discipline built in silence. Do not wait for permission to become who you want to become. Your dreams do not need approval. Your growth does not need an audience. Your effort does not become valuable only when someone notices. The strongest people are not those who receive the most applause. They are the people who continue even when nobody claps. There is a freedom that comes when you stop performing for others. You stop explaining yourself. You stop comparing. You stop asking, "Do they think I'm good enough?" Instead, you ask a different question. Did I give my best today? Because that question changes everything. When you become responsible for your own standards, your confidence becomes unshakable. No compliment can create it. No criticism can destroy it. Stop chasing validation. Start building proof. And one day, you will look in the mirror and realize the most important person finally believes in you. You. There is something far more damaging than failure. It is breaking your own word. Most people think confidence disappears because of rejection, criticism, or difficult circumstances. But confidence is rarely destroyed by the outside world. More often, it is weakened quietly from the inside. Every single time you make a promise to yourself and do not keep it, you say, "Tomorrow I'll wake up early." Tomorrow comes. You press snooze. You say, "This week I'll start exercising." The week ends. Nothing changes. You say, "I'll stop wasting time. I'll work on my goals. I'll become disciplined." But days become months, and something invisible begins to happen. You stop trusting yourself. People talk about self-belief as if it appears through positive thinking. But self-belief is not built by repeating powerful words. It is built by evidence. It is built when your mind learns that when you say something, you mean it. Imagine having a friend who constantly makes promises and never follows through. Eventually, you stop believing them. You stop depending on them. Now ask yourself a harder question. Have you become that person to yourself? Every broken promise sends a message to your mind. My words have no value. And after enough repetitions, even when opportunities appear, a voice inside whispers, "You never finish. Why start now?" That is why keeping promises to yourself is not about productivity. It is about identity. There are people who transform their lives not because they suddenly became more talented, but because they made one small decision. They started keeping their word. One morning they said, "I will wake up at 6," and they did. One day they said, "I will train for 30 minutes," and they did. Not perfectly, not dramatically, but consistently. That consistency became trust. That trust became confidence. That confidence became transformation. Do not underestimate the power of small victories. When you make your bed after saying you would, your mind notices. When you finish one task instead of quitting halfway, your mind notices. When you stay disciplined even when nobody is watching, your mind notices. You are training yourself to believe, "I am someone who follows through." And once that belief is established, everything changes. Because goals stop feeling impossible. You no longer negotiate with excuses. You no longer wait to feel motivated. You act because your word matters. There will be difficult days. Days when your energy disappears. Days when comfort calls louder than purpose. On those days, remember this. You are not proving anything to the world. You are proving something to yourself. Every kept promise becomes a brick. Brick by brick, day by day, you build self-respect. And self-respect creates a person who does not need motivation to move. So stop making grand declarations. Make smaller promises. Keep them, then make bigger ones. Become the kind of person who trusts their own voice. Because when you finally know that your actions match your words, nothing can stop you. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect morning, the perfect mood, the perfect moment when energy arrives and suddenly everything becomes easy. But life does not work that way. The people who transform themselves are not the people who feel motivated every day. They are the people who act even when they do not feel like it. Because discipline is not something you do. Discipline becomes who you are. Look closely at the person you are today. Your current life did not appear overnight. It was built by repeated actions. The way you think, the way you work, the way you react under pressure, the way you spend your mornings and your evenings. These things are not random. They are patterns. And patterns become identity. If every day you avoid discomfort, your mind begins to believe, "I am someone who quits." If every day you choose action despite resistance, your mind begins to believe, "I am someone who finishes." This is why discipline matters. Not because it makes you productive, because it changes the answer to the question, "Who am I?" Imagine two people with the same dream. Both want success. Both want confidence. Both want a better life. The first person waits until they feel inspired. The second person creates a routine and shows up regardless of emotion. One day passes, then another. Months later, they are no longer equal. The disciplined person has become different, not because of talent, but because of repetition. Every early morning changed them. Every completed workout changed them. Every hour of focused effort changed them. Small actions repeated long enough become character, and character shapes destiny. Think of a blacksmith forging steel. The steel is placed into fire again and again, hammered again and again. Not once, not twice. Repeated endlessly until strength appears. Your discipline works the same way. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you strike the hammer. Every time you keep going after discomfort appears, you strike the hammer. Every time you return after failure, instead of disappearing, you strike the hammer. Eventually, you become stronger than the person you used to be. There will be days when discipline feels boring, days when nobody notices, days when progress seems invisible. Those are the most important days. Because identity is not built in moments of excitement. Identity is built in ordinary moments. When the alarm rings, when the work feels repetitive, when comfort whispers, "Skip today," and you answer, "No," that moment matters more than you think. You are casting votes for the person you are becoming. Do not chase motivation. Build systems, build routines, build standards, and then protect them. Because one day you will wake up and realize something powerful. You no longer need to force yourself. You have become the kind of person who does the work. That is the reward of discipline, not achievement, transformation. Most people do not fail because they are incapable. They fail because they become experts at escape. The moment life becomes uncomfortable, they retreat. They delay. They distract themselves. They scroll. They wait. They tell themselves they will begin tomorrow, after they feel better, after conditions improve, after fear disappears. But tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And one day they wake up, realizing they did not lose because life was too difficult. They lost because comfort became their master. Understand this clearly. Your life does not change when things become easy. Your life changes when you stop running from difficult things. Discomfort is not your enemy. Discomfort is the doorway. Every meaningful transformation begins with entering a place you would rather avoid. The difficult conversation, the early mornings, the exhausting practice, the repeated failure, the lonely work. That is where growth lives. Imagine someone standing at the edge of cold water. They want to swim. They talk about swimming. They watch videos about swimming. But they refuse to enter because it feels uncomfortable. Another person steps in. At first, the water shocks them. Their body resists. Their mind says, turn back. But they stay. Minute by minute, their body adapts. Soon they are moving freely in the same water that once frightened them. Life works the same way. The things that scare you lose power when you face them. The things you avoid become larger in your imagination. Think about every moment you became stronger. You did not grow during easy seasons. You grew when life demanded more. You grew when you wanted to quit, but continued. You grew when failure embarrassed you, but you returned. You grew when your emotions said stop, and your values said continue. That is how strength is built. Not by avoiding pressure, by surviving it. People often ask, how do I become mentally strong? The answer is uncomfortable. Do difficult things on purpose. Wake up when staying in bed feels easier. Train when excuses feel convincing. Speak when fear tells you to stay silent. Keep moving when progress is invisible. Because every time you do, your mind receives evidence. I can handle more than I thought. That sentence changes a life. There will be moments where your comfort zone feels safe. But ask yourself this. Has comfort ever introduced you to your full potential? Has avoidance ever created confidence? Has running ever created courage? No. Courage is born in action. Strength is built under pressure. Confidence is earned by doing what once scared you. Do not expect the road to become easier. Become stronger. Do not negotiate with discomfort. Walk directly into it. Because hidden inside every challenge is proof of who you can become. And one day, when you look back at the obstacles that once made you hesitate, you will realize something extraordinary. They were never there to stop you. They were there to reveal you. One of the fastest ways to destroy your confidence is to compare your life to someone else. Timeline. You look around and see people moving faster. Someone younger has more success. Someone else seems more disciplined. Someone appears further ahead, more talented, more confident, more accomplished. And without realizing it, your mind starts asking dangerous questions. Why am I behind? What is wrong with me? When will my turn come? But those questions are built on a false belief that your journey should look like someone else's. The truth is, comparison steals energy from the only competition that actually matters. The person you were yesterday. Think about it. You do not know the years behind another person's success. You do not see their failures, sacrifices, setbacks, or struggles. You see the visible result and compare it to your invisible process. That is not competition. That is distraction. Real growth begins the moment you stop looking sideways and start looking inward. Ask yourself a better question. Am I stronger than I was? Am I more disciplined, more focused, more courageous? Because life changes when improvement becomes personal. Imagine climbing a mountain. If every few minutes you stop and look at climbers ahead of you, you will feel discouraged. You will think you are too slow. You may even quit. But if you turn around and look at how far you have already come, something changes. You realize you are no longer where you started. Progress becomes visible. Strength becomes real. This is how transformation happens. Quietly, gradually, one decision at a time. Many people underestimate the power of 1% improvement. Reading 10 pages, doing one workout, waking up 30 minutes earlier, learning one new skill, saving a little money. These actions seem insignificant in a single day, but repeated over months and years, they create a completely different person. And that person is built by competing with yesterday, not by defeating others, by refusing to stay the same. There will be days where progress feels invisible, days where you wonder if your effort matters. Keep going. The strongest people are not always the fastest. They are often the most consistent. They understand that success is not one giant leap. It is thousands of small victories stacked together. Do not insult your progress because it looks smaller than someone else's. Respect your own journey. Celebrate the fact that you returned. Celebrate the fact that you tried again. Celebrate the fact that today you did something your old self would have avoided. That matters. Because every time you become slightly better than before, you are sending a message to yourself. I am evolving. And one day, without realizing exactly when it happened, you will meet a version of yourself that once felt impossible. Not because you beat everyone else, but because you refuse to stop improving. So stop chasing other people's lives. Stand face to face with yesterday's version of yourself and win that battle. Again, and again, and again. There is a kind of success the world celebrates. The titles, the followers, the money, the applause. People see achievement and assume they are looking at fulfillment. But there is another kind of success. Quieter, deeper, harder to earn. It happens in silence. It happens when nobody is watching. It happens the moment you can stand alone with your thoughts and feel no need to escape yourself. Because at the end of the day, after the noise disappears and the world goes quiet, there is only one question that matters. Can you respect the person in the mirror? Not admire, not impress. Respect. That kind of respect cannot be purchased. It cannot be borrowed. It cannot be given to you by strangers. It is earned. Many people spend years building an image while neglecting the person behind it. They work to appear successful, but avoid becoming disciplined. They chase recognition, but abandon integrity. They create a version of themselves for others to see, while privately knowing they are not, living up to their own standards. And that creates a painful feeling no achievement can remove. Because deep inside, you always know. You know whether you gave your best. You know whether you kept your promises. You know whether you chose growth or excuses. You know whether you acted with courage or hid behind comfort. That truth follows you. But here is the powerful part. That truth can also become your greatest source of strength. Imagine a person who quietly does the work. No announcements. No attention. No need to prove anything. They wake up and train. They learn. They improve. They keep showing up. Days become months. Months become years. Their confidence becomes different. Not loud, not arrogant, steady, because they are no longer dependent on appearances. They carry something stronger, evidence. This is why some people walk into a room and immediately feel grounded, not because they think they are better, but because they know who they are. They know what they endured. They know the standards they maintained when nobody was watching. That creates a peace the world cannot give and cannot take away. Your private life builds your public strength. Your unseen choices shape your visible results. So ask yourself difficult questions. If nobody applauded me, would I still do this? If nobody knew my progress, would I continue? If recognition disappeared, would I still remain committed? Those questions reveal character. Do not live for moments that look impressive. Live in a way that feels honest. Build habits you are proud of. Build discipline that survives difficult seasons. Build a mind that does not need an audience. Because one day success may arrive, or it may take longer than expected. But regardless of what happens externally, you will have something greater. You will have earned your own respect. And when that day comes, when you stand in silence and feel proud of the person you became, you will understand something most people spend their lives chasing. The greatest victory was never proving yourself to the world. It was proving yourself to yourself.